this is Dr. MacKenzie. And if you're listening to this, chances are you are taking one of my courses. I am making this generic course so that you can understand a little bit what the organization of the course on Blackboard is and where you can go find information. So when you log in for the first time to a class, you will get to the announcements section. So these announcements, usually I use them to communicate any upcoming events or any changes or any clarification points, and usually I send them as email. So you will get them on your inbox and you will also be able to see them here chronologically. The second thing that I recommend you guys do once you have checked the syllabus and know more about the instructor, so you can do that on the left hand side under the syllabus or faculty information, then is go to the course content or schedule. When you get to that, you will see, for the most part, depending on the course that you're taking from me, you will see the classes or the sessions divided by either groups of 4 weeks or an entire 8-week span, depending on the length of the course. So in this case, this example that I am showing you, we are going for 8 weeks, and for the most part, I try to match, since we are not meeting in person or at the same time online, I don't specify the date, but I just say a range of dates, what it accounts for week 1. I don't go from Sunday to Monday or Monday to Sunday. I instead try to do it just from the work week so that you can have a sense of break between the weeks. But of course, it is up to you to figure out what that break is going to be. In some cases, when we have a span of weeks or a span of dates, like in this case, if there is an assignment that is due that week, I will specify exactly by when you should turn it in. The only reason why we have that due date specific is so that we can practice the sense of accountability. I am holding you accountable for meeting a deadline, and that is just practice of what we do in the workplace. Many of us have already done it, so I don't think that is a problem. And also a quick clarification. If I say by the end of business, or AEOB, end of business day, or EOD, end of day, technically it is before the midnight mark for the next day. However, if you take a second or two more than that, of course that's not a problem, because I am, trust me, not trying to grade things as they come in at the last minute. So if you are close to that deadline, definitely that is going to be fine. Now, if you start going 5 hours, 6 hours a day, etc. late, then of course that's when the late policy applies, and you can refer to the rest to the syllabus for that. Another thing that I have done in this course, and usually I do in my courses, is I link things. So everything is usually on Blackboard unless it's videos, for which I use YouTube, or if I have external websites, which they are already there. So depending on what it is, if it is internal content, say an article, a read, a PowerPoint, etc., I will create those links in here. And so that's why you see some of these text on the schedule of the course as links. So you can click on it and something will show up. Normally I try to identify what it is, whether it's a video, or if it's if you see a BB, that means it's an article on Blackboard. You can also see the PPT, that's a PowerPoint schedule, or PowerPoint deck, if you will, etc. If it's a document, you'll see the DOC, and you get the idea. Another thing is, so once you go through these and the readings, if the reading does not have a link, it's because it's a book chapter, like in this case, chapter 4. And that will be the case for the course you are taking with me, whether we have one book or different books. I will make that note here. And then when we get to the assignments here on the right hand side, so the certain things that I ask you to do for that span of week, as you notice, I do have an end of day deadline for the 14th, which is a little bit past the week, but it's definitely before the next week begins. So pay attention to those deadlines so you know exactly how much time you have to turn it in. If you prefer to turn it in before, I have absolutely no problem with that. Another thing to notice is on the assignments that are due, you have different places where the assignments are going to be posted. But no fear, I will not have you guessing. As a matter of fact, everything is right here on this link. If, for example, if I like you to introduce yourselves, or if you need to do a weekly posting, when you click on it, it'll automatically take you to the discussion board where that is taking place. And as you can see, I have a couple of examples already here of students that have already introduced themselves. So you didn't have to go find it. It is straight from the course content page. If I am asking you to turn in something like the infographics, you will find out more about that. You can also click on that, and that will take you automatically to the discussion board where that is submitted. In the case where I have a conversation that I'd like you to be a part of, for example, this one, you click that and I already have a post. Usually if you see this and I have a post already, that means you do not have to create a new thread. You won't have that opportunity. Instead, you go into that thread, you will see my post, and then you will see what I am asking you to do, and all you have to do is just reply. And so everyone will do the same thing, so we have one single conversation going. And you can of course reply to one person in particular, or you can reply to the whole group. So that is a benefit of the way the weekly dialogue is formatted. If you like to see all the weekly dialogues or all the different discussion board sessions, one way for you to do that is to click the weekly dialogue. So on the left hand side of your screen, you'll see the weekly dialogue. Essentially what that is the discussion board. When you click it, you will see all the different discussion boards. So you don't see them in the content because I don't want to overwhelm you with so many things. That's why each link will take you to these. So usually I don't create any new ones without letting you know via the course content page over here. So I'm not going to ask you to go anywhere else. Finding things, everything is right here at your fingertips. Another thing or example is if I ask you to submit something, for example, the needs assessment for the hat, you have 2 parts to complete prior to turning in the hat. For those, similarly, here's the link, for example, for one of the parts, and depending on the course you are taking, you may have more parts, or you may have more assignments, or different assignments, or you may have quizzes, etc. If that is the case, you can click that, and that'll take you to the Dropbox where you can submit your work. Or, if you prefer, because you like it in the old way, you can also click this word on the left-hand side that reads Assignments, and that will take you also to where the assignments are. So that's what those assignments are. And somebody may be asking, wait a minute, an infographic is an assignment. Yes, it is. But the reason why that infographic is not here is because I want everybody to be able to see it. So I am placing those in a discussion board style so everybody can access it. However, you will still get graded for it and you will still get your feedback privately, of course. I won't share that with the whole class. But the discussion board is for that purpose, for some assignments. So know that you have these sections, but of course, what I'm pointing out is that when you get to the course content, in this page, you get to see the entire progression of the course. So whether it's an 8-week or a 16-week session, this is the style we will utilize. And of course, at the bottom, you will normally see sometimes a supplemental material and assets folder. And this is where everything else lies. Minus the videos lie in YouTube, but PowerPoints, documents, articles, etc., those live here. And you can always are welcome to access this, but the only reason why I will never point you there is because you don't necessarily know the order in which we use them. And so you will probably reading some of these, but you won't have an idea what they mean. And this is true for every one of the classes that I teach. So depending on the topic, there will be different headings. And so these may not apply to you depending on the course you are taking, but the structure and the organization of my classes is very similar on Blackboard. And whether we're meeting in person or if we're meeting online, or if we are not meeting at all and we're just doing an asynchronous session, the organization is the same. Always Remember that you can ask questions, you can send me an email, or you can send me a text because you have my phone number. So I hope this helps you and you understand better what the organization of the course is on Blackboard. If you have any questions, let me know. Until next time, everyone, very excited to be with you. Thank you.